Clay, come on, Rip. You alive yet? We ain't awake yet. Oh, don't ask me. I'm not even there yet. I've got my dog still sleeping back there. She came up, woke up this morning, wondering what was going on. So I showed her what was going on. Last night, I put up the American flag. I had to. I wasn't forced by gun or anything else like that, Reverend Ed. I was doing it for those who had served, and I'm celebrating them. Those have fallen, those who still served. I mean, it could have been a Veterans Day celebration here, but I'm way too late for that, so celebrate on July 4th. A 249th anniversary of our country still struggling for survival. And me being pissed off about it. You know, we got the end of the occupation protests happening all over the country again. Maybe not as big as the last ones concerning about Trump's birthday, but I'd like to see a lot of bigger source that on July 4th. I had to put the thing up because I still wanted to celebrate my country, because I still feel strongly for my country, and every damn thing I value of it. And sometimes it's not describable. It's it's something. It's something instilled inside a person. After hearing so many stories about my country and the history and everything else happening, you know, it's not just that. There is something about this country, this place, that it reeks out of patriotism to ideas and ideologies, even to the dark stuff that we did next to the other stuff we did. And right now, I don't want to celebrate Trump. Reverend, I don't want to do that. Oh, great, great. Here we go. No, because right now what they want to do is tear apart the Burbank Airport and put up a new terminal. They got some artistic impressions of it. I want to show you some. Shall the congregation open up to the maps of the Google, please? And we are going to type out Hollywood Burbank Airport. Oh, what are you doing there? I'm scrolling. Back to the San Fernando Valley. Back to home. Or old home, anyway. I just want to look at a home like that. Oh, great. I got too much stuff. So I gotta take off a few things here and there. But I'm trying to get the memory taken care of. Just so it has enough memory to work with. Okay, the Hollywood Burbank Airport. Excuse me 1 second. Yeah, wake up to that kind of junk in the morning. So if you haven't looked at the San Fernando Valley, you'll see on the east side, right by the 5 freeway, and sandwiched between the 170 Hollywood. You'll see that crooked format. Hollywood Burbank. It's been there since the dawn of time in this valley. Yeah, I kind of think of it that way. And I miss it. How many times, Reverend, had I talked about my valley and how much it meant to me? Too many damn times for me feeling old and worn out. Tell you stories about Southwest Airlines. PSA before that. I think they had AL-1011s back then. Tri-engine. Small, but they're the first airplanes I've actually gone onto. Okay, you're looking at the tarmac, right? You can go over to the terminals. I'm going to see if I can get into the street map of it so I can take a look at it. So I'm just going to see if I get a point and click on this thing, get a street view. Because me, I want to get some PDF shots before they start tearing apart the place. Ugly as sin. But this thing's been out there for about decades. And because of that, Terminal A, they had the tower on it. So, welcome to Burbank Airport. I'm trying to get another street view of this place. Guess this was home. This was home. I'm trying to see where I can get this camera angle better. Oh, this damn thing didn't want to. Oh, a second. Oh, that's it. Okay, cool. Well, if you're able to use the Google Maps, if you can get a street view of it, this is the airport I grew up with under. A tower. This place has changed so much with the parking structure and everything else in the area. That structure's been out there for about 40. Wait a second. Well, about 40 years. We used to have it flat. Within the 40 years, to put that monstrosity up there. But this is, if you do a 360 on it, this is what I'm used to. They could have enough airlines over there. JetBlue, American, Spirit, Delta, Avelo. Oh, God, no. No, not Avelo. Oh, Lord, no. Avelo is one of those airlines that the government contracted to do prisoner transport. Schmucks. That design that they have on there about the aerospace, it's been there for years. I gotta get a picture of this. I must get a picture, a PDF. Because they want to redesign the terminals to be more futuristic. Where we're going to get an influx of people coming over. No, I don't think we're going to get an influx of people coming over. We're supposed to be having the Olympics out here. I don't think so anymore. Now with Trump doing shit. Not with Trump. But this was the place that my family would come to from time to time. Either departures, leaving, or just to hang out. Me and my brother would do that once in a while. Once in a great while we're over there. It's a very productive airport. It literally is. It's just a little bit of stuff I go through on this one. See, the local terminal, if they're doing the local Air American side, the international would be on, if you're just looking at the terminal straight ahead, Terminal A, Left hand side is the international. Right hand side would have been the national. Me and my brother went there. When we went to San Francisco months after the 1989 earthquake they had up in the up in the Bay Area. Would go through the metal detectors. There would have been a bit of a restaurant on the left-hand side of it back then. Some food courts. And then ticket counters. They would have a restaurant, a full-size restaurant in there. People waiting for their rides. The airplanes would line up along the tarmac. The long stretch that you see. And yes, in the picture that they actually captured the Southwest. Well, in that territory, it used to be Pacific PSA. I don't know what the hell the PSA is. Pacific Standard Airline or something like that. Yeah. But, I hadn't been on the Southwest in a hell of a long while, different airplanes, but there was something going on in aircraft. Scared the crap out of you. We didn't walk on the tarmac to get into the plane. We actually had a terminal to go through. The tunnel. And then we would wait after the plane gets built up. The plane would then go to the taxiway and then over to the main. Now the thing is, regarding the flight plans, I want to show you something, okay? If you can do a wide shot of the San Fernando Valley, where you see the whole McGilly Gorilla, and you'll see how the airport is. It's got a diagonal, said before. Well, they can do takeoffs, but the problem is you got to see this to believe this, okay? We've got one landing and we've got one outbound. One inbound and one outbound. And I'll show you why. Widen the shot until you see the mountain ranges. Now imagine flying through this mess. The airlines never flew through the mountains to get into the airport. There's no way in hell for them to do that. They could take off and get power and get over to the hillsides on the south. But as for coming in, here's why I wanted you to look at the valley and kind of scrunch it a little further, where you see the mountain ranges. But you also see the flight path. When you're inbound to the airport, you have other airports to compete with. We have mighty ones. We have Van Nuys Airport to contend with. We got LAX, Santa Monica, Long Beach. I mean, it's just one congested mess. There are maps of airplanes coming to and from airports. And they'll show you how congested things can be around an airport. You must have flown around them or through them. For my place, all I kept seeing is the inbounds coming from west to east. They would fly through the west end of the San Fernando Valley on a direct course. Now, I had not seen them do a landing coming from the desert, they have to swing. They have to swing wide. They have to come through that narrow corridor, and they also have to time it right with the Van Nuys Airport. Now, let me show you that one there again. Okay, put the valley, San Fernando Valley, back in the center area. Can you do that? Okay, cool. You look at the 405 freeway. That's a marker right there. And in that marker between that and also Topanga Canyon, which is on the far west side, you have this corridor here. This is where the Van Nuys Airport really gets crazy in that area. If we go over to the Van Nuys Airport and widen the shot, do you see it? One strip only. When they made the valley, this was all agricultural back in the 20s, 30s, 40s. This is all mission area. This was before urbanization happened. So they made an airport. Not the military moving in just yet, but when World War II came out, that's when everything else went hell in a handbasket. And in this area, this is where the airplanes would test and train. Of course, they had out in the desert. They also did that over there, too. The aviation, building airplanes and flying them was big out here. And also tearing apart those lovely orange trees. Yeah. But when they had the military installed out here, they had the Air National Guard, they had a communication squadron, and they had a transportation squadron, 92nd and 93rd, and they would fly in C-130 hulking transports. In my lifetime, that's all I kept seeing, coming into Van Nuys Airport and going out, except for the air shows we had. But they have to be timed just right, because there was always inbound flights coming from west to east. And that would be the airliners. They never varied on it. Never varied, because there was no way in hell to get into Van Nuys Airport that way. Or actually into Burbank. Hollywood Burbank on that one. All the hubs that we've got, all the airlines, they would go right through Simi Valley and through Ventura. That's the corridor. But I know somewhere in there along Ventura County and Santa Barbara County and Oxnard area, they got military there too that have to coordinate with. Here's important. Well, we had the Point Hueneme, and then Point Mugu Naval Air Station. This is a trip. This is Navy Town out here. Point Hueneme is a CB base, but it's also cargo and logistics. This is an air base out here in Naval Air Station Point Mugu, and it's on the coastline. It's right in Ventura Oxnard area. It's agriculture if you look at it, but they have a community surrounding it. Not to mention they got a community surrounding up in the Channel Islands, Point Hueneme. All the industries depending upon each other. Back in the 90s, they were going through budget reallocation, closing down bases that they didn't think they needed unless they had been pressured by certain senators out there who had strong ties, and they wanted to keep what they had, which is a good thing. We would have dropped out like crazy in this place, but here we are. I wanted you to look at Point Mugu Station. See how the flight paths are? You can take a look at the landing strips, takeoff zones. This is up before. We're congested um, air corridors out here in California, especially out here in Southern California. We've got air bases like we got airports and air bases like crazy. We used to have a major one out in El Toro in San Diego County. That was a Marine base. They would have when they could have the allocation and the people coming in, and not to mention personnel. They'd have a show, a hell of a show. There were things that a pilot would do to older aircraft, if I remembered, because they were magnificent. And you see all the Hornets that they're flying over the past 40, 50 years. Well, they replaced the Tomcats. The Tomcats were one of the movable wings swept back and they become supersonic. But if they were swept like this, uh, basically flying, is when those wings would go in and you see this angular triangle, man. Oh, you'd feel the concussion in the ground, especially when they did low-level passes. But here's the thing that got to me. Here's the thing that got to me. I'm watching one of these air shows here. I think it was El Toro. And I'd seen a Tomcat was maneuvering like crazy. I'd seen a Tomcat with the nose in the air and the afterburners on the ground do this right above the tarmac and then take off. That's flying. That's flying for military. Now we have Edwards out here. Those pilots can't even do that kind of crap. The Navy pilots did a long time ago. Just to show off. But they had a hell of a show. They had a hell of a show. But the Base Relocation Commission had to shut that place down too. And they turned it into either a park or a business park or something like that. But they redid El Toro. I wish they kept it, but they didn't. So the Marines have their inward uh, have an inland base where they came out of to come over to piss off people in Los Angeles. 29 Palms, I think it was. I don't know if they've got an air base out there or not. I've never been out there before, and that's a hell of a distance. And I haven't got anyway to get down there to see it. If I actually wanted to see it, but it's 29 Palms. It's way out there. I like looking at the maps every so often just to see what's going on. So, I'm just checking things out on the map at this point over here. Just going over some things I just wanted to go crazy with. July 4th, I'm supposed to be talking about patriotism, hot dogs, hamburgers, and God knows what else I got to be doing with. But with everything else happening with the political realm right now, I don't want to give Trump that much glee. Which makes me a miserable person, I guess. Maybe. Yesterday was pretty damn bad. Ed, when I started to think about just knocking it out, just finding something, and just not be here the next day. I was in a dark place. I was in a dark place. I wanted to kill myself. I didn't want to live on this earth. But then who would take care of my dog? She's annulled for it, and I don't want anything happening to her. I was worried so much what was going to happen to my dog Tuesday. I was hoping maybe I wouldn't lose her. Just an eye infection. Didn't check up on her lungs. But she's still hanging in there. If I squeeze her lungs a little bit one way or another, she gets this whooping cough. I have to be careful how I handle her. But when I heard about the damn bill yesterday, Ed, I think I went beyond scared and beyond anger, just resolutely just killing myself and saying, hell with it. I could have said the other word, I know it, but no. I have to fill out these questionnaires every time I keep talking to my therapist. Before I do it, she needs to see on the computer graphic and responses to the answers. To see those squiggly lines that tell us there's something. They're pretty much basic, but after what yesterday was, I even sent a letter over to her about it. And she's anxious to talk to me about it in our normal counseling session. So I guess I got to live long enough for that one. Goodbye. Thank you. I just don't have the heart to squish them, except I'm going to squish them on my feet. But I want to keep coming back into the house. You know, little bugs. But anyway, it just... I didn't want to deal with life. I didn't want to deal with anything else. I just wanted to die. And I came across the one concerning about Jeremiah. And I just listened. I'm laying in my bed thinking about wanting to kill myself. Being in that kind of a dark, emotional presence, and I'm listening to your sermon there. It was somehow subtly making sense to me. Dare I say it gave me a little hope? Do I dare say it? I just didn't want to live. I didn't want to live in Trump's world. I didn't want to deal with him. I didn't want to deal with Nazi Germany. Everything else concerning about the fascism that this guy's throwing out. And I feel like if I was really pissed off and angry about the damn thing, I kept thinking about there would be something stupid I'd be doing. My mouth can get me in trouble. I could say things that would get me in trouble with my mouth. But it would scare the hell out of me seeing the ice coming through and feeling like I can't do anything when I feel like I want to do something stupid. It's probably the same thing in your country. But you probably experienced it out here when you're living out here. You just don't assault law enforcement, regardless of their fed down to the local. And what I wanted to do was beat the shit out of them. What I wanted to say to them is, do you support the Constitution, or do you support Trump? And if you support the Constitution, why are you doing this to your people that you're sworn to protect and serve? It just frustrates me no end on that one, Reverend Ed. I'm sorry. But it's like I'm feeling I'm powerless. I want to be empowered to do something. But to hold back? But to hold back. I have to do what I've got to do, I guess. Be a mouthpiece. But here's the thing. Didn't we talk about Japanese Zen gardens. Sand sculpture. There are sand sculptures over at Tillman Water Reclamation Plants, the Japanese gardens we have out there in the San Fernando Valley. If we want to look at the piece of Zen, and I keep an image of that in my head, not to mention looking at it from time to time on the internet. But I'd walk through it. When you do a thing for the Japanese gardens, you have to go through the Tillman plant for the tour, and then take a tour through the gardens. Say as long as you like in the gardens. Unless this was decades ago. I don't know what they're doing there now. But they're still keeping the Zen garden. Okay, still keeping it. And it's right in the area of the airport. Except it's in that big green swath. Right along Woodley Avenue. Yeah, Woodley Avenue. There's a big mechanized place. That's the water reclamation. But that's also where the Japanese Zen garden is. Oh, it's a place in my heart. Because I walked through it. And it's so peaceful and beautiful. Despite all the fact that everything else is going crazy around it. But this was a place that I remember too, and I remember cause and effect and everything else going on. And it's a place for photographic memories that happen for special events. But this place, it means something to me. It means something to me. And there's no explanation for it. Because it is what it is. And I fell in love with it a long while ago. And I look at it from time to time when I need to. So I bet I can do a screenshot of the thing. I could really use it. So I'll do a PDF. Anyway, sorry for taking up too much of your time there, pal. I'm still feeling anxious for the rest of the years that we're dealing with right now. I'll hopefully see. Looking forward to talk to you in person, Maltus.